How ridiculous do I look right now? Do I look pretty ridiculous? I think so. What's up, guys? All right, let's get started. Come on. There you go. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to our weekly live event. It's great to see everybody again. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Everything's been really great, except for all the stuff you just saw happen today on the story. What's up, guys? Good to see everybody again. So, Big Body, when are we going to smoke hookah again? I need me some hookah. I love you guys too. Hey, what's up? Bill, you're from the UK? Actually, my buddy just came in from the UK. He took a private plane from England to Orlando, and he's actually going to be coming over tomorrow. What's up, Texas? I just left Texas 2 weeks ago. I'm going back again in March. What's the subject today? So today we're going to be talking about real estate, the market conditions, and how now that Biden being in office has changed some things we got to prepare for, and to focus more on our portfolio and how to add more units, because things have changed now since Biden's in office. Timelines have shifted, so we got to make sure to get it. To get it while we still can. Dale says, you're mad inspiring. Man, honestly, I had a flight to San Diego, but it got canceled. So it happens, bro. What are we going to do? I'm going to keep rolling. Today, one of my pipe bursts under the building. So it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to have to roll with it and just keep on working. I had my guys working until like 8, 9 o'clock at night trying to fix it. Honestly, we couldn't get it fixed, so we're going to start back again tomorrow morning to work on it. What's up, Callie? Savage says, you need to come do some work in Charlotte, North Carolina. One day. We want to do more and more stuff. We want to do more and more projects, so I'm all for it. All right, yeah, definitely I'm going to get into details, guys. I'm just going to let everyone get started, get joining on the podcast. And remember, whoever goes live face-to-face, I answer their questions first. Second, who asks questions on YouTube, then on who leaves a question in the comment section of IG, and basically in that format. Nishad wants to ask a question. I'll answer Nishad's question. Let's see what he has. What's up, Lisa? Alexis, what's going on? Good to see you. So, let me see. We've been on for a minute. So let's get going. Since Biden has now been inaugurated, right? I didn't say that properly. Inaugurated. So since now Biden got sworn in, he's talking about doing a $2 trillion stimulus package. I believe the stimulus package is going to get approved in some way, shape, or form. We got to be careful about what's going to be coming. And what's going to be coming is, with this additional stimulus, we're going to have more of the stock market going up. We're going to have more of housing being in super high demand. We're going to have more of low interest rates. So we got to be prepared. The market dropping the second half of this year is still possible. With the foreclosures from 2018 having to hit the market, they're going to be hitting the market the second half of this year. So there's going to be opportunities to buy. The major crash, though, it looks like is going to be kicking the can down the road, possibly maybe to like December or January of next year. Because with $2 trillion hitting the market, it has to go somewhere. So there's going to go into assets. It's going to increase certain stocks to go up. It's going to increase crypto to go up. It's going to increase the housing market in the short term. I still believe there is a major crash coming. It's getting kicked down the road because of all the stimulus, but there should be a big crash coming the second half of this year, maybe the beginning of next year. All this additional stimulus is going to keep the market propped up artificially. So again, everyone, if you need to get a refinance, DM me, I'll help you with that. Anything that you do not love and you're not planning to refinance, sell. Get out now, because if you're planning to sell within 3 years or 5 years, I believe today is a better time, and you're going to get a better payout if you sell in the next 6 months than if you decide to sell in 3 to 5 years from now. So if you're planning to keep the property, refinance, pull cash out, sit on that money, and get ready to buy more deals. All right. Let's see. I got a question here. It says, how old were you when you purchased your first property? I was 19 years old. Josh says, so why not have your insurance reimburse you for the pipes? So the issue right now, why there's all these insurance companies are, so let me give you guys a backstory to this. Today, if you didn't see that on my IG story, one of my pipes burst underneath my building. And one of my followers mentioned, hey, call Morgan & Morgan, which is a big law firm. And why a lot of law firms are getting involved in this business with insurance claims is because it's actually easy money in Florida for a law firm to get money for burst pipes. They'll do what's called an assignment of benefits, and they basically take over the legal rights to your insurance policy, and they will basically sue the insurance company on your behalf as if they're you, and they can make a $5,000 claim into a $50,000 claim. This is becoming a very, very big issue in Florida, which is actually costing insurance companies millions of dollars. And my buddy, he actually owns 8 insurance agencies. And he was telling me, he sent me the link to it, and he was telling me, he's like, I'm going to make a lot of money. Because as you guys know, insurance agents don't pick how much you pay for insurance, right? We shop, we find the best deal, and we give it to you. But if every single company is going to increase their insurance rates 25%, 50%, 100%, then all of our policies are going to go up. All of your policies are going to go up. And if we're making 10% on that money, then that means we're going to make more money. So what stinks is with the assignment of benefits and with the pipe claims, that's a new way a lot of people are choosing to make money off of the insurance agency. Not everyone is manipulating the system, but there is a good amount of people manipulating the system that's causing, billions of dollars of additional claims that probably shouldn't be out there. Again, consult your insurance agent and consult your lawyer. If you do have a claim, I'm just explaining to you of some of the articles that I read. But that is why you have to be careful about filing a claim, because what we have to all consider is that every time we file a claim, insurance goes up. So if we can avoid filing claims and just resolving things within a reasonable price, we should do that. I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for asking. You're saying the market is at an all-time high. Yes, I am saying it's at an all-time high, and I'm saying that it's going to go down. Initially, it was set to go down 2019, 2020, with all the stimulus that we have got put out in the market. It's pushed it back at least 6 months. If Biden puts out another $2 billion, it's going to push it back at probably another 6 months. So get your refis in, sell the properties you want to sell, and get prepared to buy deals that are going to come, because the 2018 foreclosures never came out. They never hit the market. So they're set to come out. they're set to hit the market, and these are a lot of, we haven't seen foreclosures in a long time. I haven't seen any new foreclosures since COVID hit in 2020. So there's going to be some foreclosures coming. It's going to be good opportunities coming. I just saw a house in Safety Harbor that's like 2,600 square feet, single story, 2-car garage with a pool. They're asking $275,000, and it was half done already. I mean, homes in that area go for like 180 a square foot. So there's a lot of money to be made on that home. So yeah, a lot of deals coming. Based on what do you think the market is all-time high? Yeah, it's not based off of what I think. It is a fact that we are at all-time highs, right? That you could just look at the charts. Amir says, hello, we have a property to be sold to buy a new one, but due to COVID, the value has gone down. What can we do? Well, in your area, obviously real estate is market driven. Like a lot of properties in New York have actually dropped 5-10% because of COVID. And what has gone up in demand is properties in good areas that are not as dense, not as densely populated, because people want some more freedom. So I believe that this is, you have to study your market to determine what's going to happen. But I do believe real estate is going to go down as every other market's going to go down in the next year. So what would be, hello? Do you have a question? All right, I guess not. What would be your preferred pick based on city for income properties in Florida? I mean, almost everywhere in Florida is good. Orlando's good, Tampa's good. Jacksonville's a very hot market. A lot of big players buying in Jacksonville. Miami's good. I would go for secondary and tertiary markets. I would not go for primary markets just because, people don't want to be around or exposed to highly dense areas. What about being the first time? What suggestions do you have? So I would suggest studying your market, because the first loan you get is usually the easiest loan, 3.5% down, owner occupied. So I would try to get a duplex, triplex, or quadplex. That's what I did. My first deal was a duplex when I was 19 years old. It is a lot easier to make money on multi-units. Make sure you're buying right and you're buying in a good area, and you'll be able to make money. All right, let's go to YouTube. Lots of questions here on YouTube. All right. So George says, hey, Pascal, do you think there's a possibility that after we get out of the Corona BS, we will have a second economic decline? I believe 100% we will have one. George also says, my thought is there was a potential economic decline without the Corona, and the stock market keeps going up, hitting new highs. Would that indicate that if there was a bubble, it will burst? Also, where would you search to find a foreclosed property? Most foreclosed property are literally listed online. You can find them on the MLS. There is some properties on, I think like foreclosure.com. You can search, and you're gonna find some of the foreclosed properties that are auction.com. You're gonna find some of the properties that are in foreclosure that are going to auction. So you can literally just bid from New York for properties in Arizona, Texas, Florida, if that's what you're looking for. And I agree. I do believe the market's going to go down. We had systemic issues prior to COVID. COVID made it worse. Then they pumped up all this stimulus. which again, it is being propped up. This is not going to withstand long term. What they're trying to do is make the fall less painful. The issue is the only way to make it less painful is putting people back to work. And a lot of the businesses that close down permanently. They're not coming back. And the people that lost those jobs, you know, they're individuals that have a certain skill set. So where are the people going to go that are waiting tables, that are the bartenders, that are the cooks? If all these places shut down, it's going to take a while before these restaurants open back up. Now, those people, those small business owners are probably not going to be able to open them back up. So before these big companies can come in and take over, because basically that's what's going to happen. They're going to all take over. And the small business owner is going to get destroyed again. It's going to be a time period before they can come in and rebuild. So there's going to be a transition period, probably 3 years before they can come back in. And obviously, if people aren't making money, they're not going to be able to eat out. So it's also going to put a compression on the market as well. Now, would you ask me, Pascal, would you buy a building that a restaurant was located in? Yes. One of my mentors, he's a very wealthy man. He buys mom and pop restaurants and diners. He's very bullish on them. So initially, the market's going to go down. But let's think about it. The reality is people don't like cooking at home. So they're going to come back. And he's going to own the building. And if he buys them for pennies on the dollar, then he's going to make good money on the rent. All right, let's see. So Sam, or actually Oscar says, hey, Pascal, what do you know about mortgage acceleration programs? Do you know of a reliable one? What do you mean by mortgage acceleration program? Like, I know there's a mortgage acceleration clause on your mortgage saying if you deviate from the terms of your mortgage, they can accelerate the mortgage and make you pay back all the money right away. Mortgage acceleration program is most likely just some type of online gimmick. They give it this fancy name to say you could pay back your mortgage faster. In reality, they're just going to tell you about either making extra payments, which I think is a bad idea, or using like the Velocity home equity line of credit, which I also think is a very bad idea. I've actually put out other videos in the past explaining why it's a very bad idea. As you guys know, our money is not money. The dollars we're using is a currency. It is not money. Gold and silver is money. The dollars in our wallet is a currency. And this currency is a debt-based currency. So every dollar we have in our wallet is actually a loan. And we're paying interest on that loan. And it's called inflation. So we shouldn't use loans, which is dollars in our pocket, to pay off a home loan, which is at 3% interest. Doesn't make any sense. We need to keep those dollars. We need to buy more assets. We're going to have a hyperinflationary period coming. And if you are not investing and buying assets, you're going to be clobbered by the inflation wave that's going to come. I feel very bad for people that saved money their whole life and are continuing to save money, because savers, and what I mean by savers, like when I was working at the bank when I was 19 years old, I would see people with like $1,000,000-something in CDs. Well, if you're only earning 1% on a CD and the inflation rate is over 3%, that means your money is deteriorating by 2% a year. Your purchasing power is being lost. And these people plan to have that money for the rest of their life to survive on. It's going to be eaten away, because in 10 years, what used to cost you $100 will cost you at least $130. So it will require you more money to survive. It's a problem. People are relying on Social Security. We're going to have Social Security when we get older. People ask me all the time, Pascal, will we have Social Security by the time I retire? The answer is yes, you will have Social Security by the time you retire. The issue, though, is not are we going to have it. The issue is what could we even use that money for? Because that $800 you're going to get a month is probably not even going to cover food. I mean, rent in a decent area for a one-bedroom is $800. How are you going to pay your electric? How are you going to pay for your food unless you're going to be getting Social Security and getting food stamps? You'd still need a subsidy to cover your electric bill. So it's a problem. Savers are now unfortunately losers. You have to invest. All right. Let's see. Sam on YouTube says, how do I narrow down what market to be familiar with? I've heard you mention Tampa, Scottsdale, Austin as good places to buy. I've also heard you mention secondary and tertiary markets. What that mean? Would that mean looking at suburbs of those markets? I have no partner in any of them. How do I determine growth potential? Thanks for the great content. Is tertiary and secondary determined strictly by population? So, great questions. For example, let's say Scottsdale, Arizona is a primary market. The small cities surrounding that market would be secondary and tertiary markets. And what I focus on is the downtown market of those cities. How do you determine which city to invest in? That is a personal preference. And when you're studying the market, you would end up studying the cities surrounding Scottsdale. Let's just say that's your determiner, and that's the one you're choosing. You're going to study the cities around Scottsdale, and you're going to see what things are buying and selling for, and coming to a conclusion, what's a good deal. So when a good deal comes up, you buy it immediately. It does feel overwhelming for a new investor because there's so much to look at, and they're like, how am I going to absorb all this information? It's the old adage of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So just go look at one deal at a time, after another, after another. Eventually, you're going to look at all the deals. And I literally look at every single property that comes up for sale. And now it takes me like minutes, if not seconds. I look at it within 30 seconds. Okay, got it. Next. I literally got every single property that came up, and none of them look good within location. They don't look good for dollar per square foot. That's a horrible dollar per square foot on the condition of the property. Like, it's pretty fast, right? Like, for example, the one I saw in Safety Harbor, it's pretty good, $275,000 for like a 2,600 square foot house with a pool at an ARV of $180 a square foot at 2,600 square feet. We're looking at maybe $500,000 with a pool. So they're asking $275,000. It probably needs about $100,000. I'm at $375,000. Carrying costs, closing costs, I'm at like $50,000. I'm at $425,000. Now that sounds good, right? Sounds like $75,000 of profit on that deal. The issue with that is it's on the main road. So how much am I gonna lose for being on the main road? Could be a lot. It's hard to tell. So you have to gamble that or try to get a lower price. So I might go for that deal and just get a lower price. What are we talking about today? About stimulus. Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Pascal? You know, like, I need big inspiration to me, man. What's going on, man?
Awesome. Everything's great. Everything's awesome. Just, handling problems as they come, and, enjoying the good times, and, enjoying the bad times too. I don't know if you saw my IG story, but a pipe burst underneath one of my 5 units. And now we're like trying to scramble to get this finished and fixed, but it happens. It's what comes with the territory.
Always. I mean, you strike me as the type of guy like you're always on top of your own business. Like you are focused, and truly an inspiration to myself. Like as a beginner investor and all this. Hey, listen, I got a question for you. So, I work in the banking industry. I work directly as a mortgage originator. The biggest question for me in my hands right now is given the delinquency rate that we're looking at going into 2021, with all this coronavirus situation, as a rental investor, I mean, like, what is your outlook on things, man? I mean, like, we're looking at maybe 3 or 4 times what they were back in 2008. How are you preparing yourself? What is your outlook on things?
So I'm going to first mention with what other people are saying, like Graham Stephan and other people are saying it's not a big deal. It's the delinquency rate's not that bad. All these different factors are not that bad. I want to disagree with them. And I mean, if you follow like the rich dad advisors, if you follow like Robert Kiyosaki's partner that manages the real estate fund, they have like 7,000 apartments in their portfolio. The metrics they're running is the same. They're talking about like what 2 million people in America are delinquent on their mortgage. Only half of them actually applied for forbearance. So other 1 million homes they're planning it's going to hit the market. This is in addition to the 2018 foreclosures they're going to hit. It's going to take some time to hit, but they're going to hit. And it's going to, it was going to be a hard fall, but now it's not going to be so much of a hard fall as it's going to be like a fall. And then we're going to have a big U dip on the way up. It's going to be about a 3-year period. And then we're going to start climbing back up afterwards. So what I'm saying is basically, I try to keep it really simple, right? Like I just really try to keep it as simple as possible. We know it's going to go down. So whatever you love, keep it. Whatever you don't love and you're planning to sell in 5 years, sell now. I've actually had friends that I know that actually sold their homes. They're like, I'm not planning to keep this home that long. So I said, they're like, what should I do? I said, sell your home and rent. They're like, well, Pascal, I don't want to pay rent. And, if I keep my home, I can, I'll pay down the mortgage. I said, you've owned this home maybe 2 years. The first 10 years, you're barely paying any interest. So literally your full payment is an expense, So the reality, you're not losing anything. Sell, make your money, be patient, and buy in when it's lower. Now, there's some properties I really like. Some properties that are very hard to get. So for me, how I look at these properties is they're like gems, or they're like, if I can equate this back to, I used to collect Pokemon cards. I still have some Pokemon cards, but when I wanted better cards, I had to trade my common cards for more rare cards. And it doesn't matter what happens with the market of the value of the cards for me, because it's my passion. I'm still going to hold on to the rare cards. I'm going to do a cash out refinance, stabilize it, have a fixed payment. So if anything does go bad in the market, I have a strong hand and I can handle it. Right now, I can have a 50% vacancy ratio and I would still be able to cover all my expenses. So basically, it's basically you want to borrow your properties and have fixed payments. Everyone will say, Pascal, you're doing the same thing David Ramsey did and he lost everything. Aren't you concerned you're going to lose everything? My answer is no. Dave Ramsey made a major mistake, and it was really a beginner mistake, which is using short-term debt to finance long-term investments. That's what he did. In addition to, he spent a lot of money on toys and cars and stuff like that, which I don't agree on doing. You don't need to get fancy. You don't need to get loans on all your boats and toys and cars and whatever. So debt is a tool. It could be good or bad. I mean, you understand because you're an MLO. I'm an MLO. So I understand the game. And the more you study the game, the more you understand how it works. It's a tool. You have to use your tools properly. So that's why I'm not concerned refining, getting cash out, and sitting on the money, and then waiting for more good deals to come.
Absolutely. I mean, like even against like a backdrop, like all the originators here they're tightening up the restrictions on what their criteria are for like the loans that they're issuing out, whether it's refi or already a purchase. I mean, like I completely agree with you there. It's just a matter of I mean, like, I guess like what the long-term plan is, right? You know, for an individual like myself, you know, like I have a handful of residential rental properties. Like I'm lucky enough that I have, you know, like three, you know, I do have some commercial property as well renting out. You know, my star tenants are always McDonald's. The McDonald's is perfect. They're always on time with, you know, with their payments. They're really not going anywhere there. But just from a growth perspective, though, on how we can kind of expand things, it comforts me that you know, an individual like yourself is saying things that are coinciding with what we've been kind of putting to table here. The big thing is I'm concerned with my residential guys, right? Like, you know, whether or not they are able to work as we continue through this pandemic. You know, they're talking about all these new variants with the COVID strains, and not being able to generate the income necessary to be able to justify like their payments for me. I mean, do you have anything similar that you're currently dealing with? Like, I know like you do a lot of stuff on the residential side, but
so I'm going to touch on a couple of topics for you. So one, the difference between what you're seeing on maybe like a Grant Stephan and the other guys on YouTube that are talking about real estate, most of those guys are real estate agents, and they see one aspect of what's going on. If you listen to the other people that are online that have a non-agent perspective, and most of the people who are very cautious are on the lender side. The lender side of the community is very cautious with the data that's coming out. That is, so if you look at who's talking and what their background is, most agents are optimistic because they're looking at certain data points. Most lenders are pessimistic because they're looking at the different data points. And that's why I'm saying one major difference in perspectives is because you're looking at different charts. It's like, so how I look at it, and when I review someone's finances, I look at their different charts, their tax returns, their bank statements, their investment accounts, their philosophy. I look at those different documents like a doctor would, and I will come up with their financial health, and then the planning on how they can move forward and become healthier, you know, how to lose some fat and gain some more muscle. You know, I look at it like how to develop their finances. And what's happening is one side of the market, one side of the specialists, right? The real estate specialists are looking only at certain charts, and the investors are looking at other charts. So that's where we're coming to different perspectives. Now, what I'm trying to do is look at both charts. And now what we are seeing is this: people need real estate. That's very clear. Residential real estate is very strong. That is clear. Storage units in warehouses are very strong. It's very clear. Storefronts in retail, big box, is weak. Very clear. Office buildings are weak. Very clear. Medical office is still strong. That is clear. Dental is still weak. That is clear. C-class, D-class, and F rentals, residential rentals, are weak. That is clear. B-class and A-class is still strong. That's clear. I'm in B and A-class properties, so I'm not having any COVID issues. My one bedrooms, so the average one bedrooms in this area are 600 to 800. My one bedrooms are 1,000 to 1,500. My studios are $1,200 a month. I'm in Florida. That's very high, but I'm in secondary and tertiary markets and downtown markets before everybody else started buying them. I bought in at $50,000 a door. My properties are worth $250,000 a door now. So I'm following the data. I'm following the trends. I'm following the numbers of where people want to go. And now when I'm doing remodels, all the bedrooms get Cat 6 wiring. When we rip down the drywall, all the bedrooms get Cat 6 wiring. I have TVs that are TV mounts for the walls. they have Cat 6 and they have cable run behind the wall. In the kitchens, I have Cat 6 wire run so people can work from the kitchen counter if they want. So you have to follow the trend, right? Let's like not be what I scored the highest in my class in finance, and I could have chose to invest in the stock market. Why I like real estate better is we have the control of increasing the return on our investment with our real estate, and that's what really turned me on to this. Is I have the control to be an investor and have a passive and active role in this investment. And I can choose to be as passive or as active as I want. We have that flexibility. And when we want to increase our returns, by putting in those small little details, we can increase our returns. And really, what does it come down to? Focus, active listening, in making sure that we are a step ahead of our competition. Because our competition is out there and they're trying to get better every day. And even if we are good and stay consistent on our pace, our competition is getting better every day. The gap and the difference is going to make sure they outperform us. But if we just pay attention, what's happening? People are moving out of big cities. They're moving to secondary and tertiary markets because they're not as crowded. But they're working from home. So they need Cat 6 wiring to get high quality internet. I have WAPs in all of my units. I have WAPs on the outside of my properties as well, so they can work inside or outside. And then at the end of the day, when they're not getting to see any coworkers and they're kind of bored of being home, they want to walk from the downtown to local bars in a safe neighborhood, walk their dog, maybe talk to people, maybe they're not because they're like, everyone's so annoying nowadays, and then come back home. But they want to be exposed because they're missing that whole water cooler talk. So by being conscious to the human element, that doesn't really take us too much effort to think, what do people want? And provide them what they want. I had this thing my dad would tell me, Pascal, why'd you buy this building? It's a wood building, blah, blah, blah. It's horrible, whatever. Finally, he kept nagging me. And I just said, look, if someone's going to pay me to polish a piece of shit, I will polish it and give it to them. At the end of the day, what matters is not what we want, it's what the client wants. And we must always be in a perspective of providing the client a premium quality that they want. But at the end of the day, if they want something that maybe is ridiculous, we got to provide it. But I normally am not in that business, to be honest with you. I like providing quality and finding clients that have the same wants and desires as I am, so I can provide them exactly what they want. So, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And it's just all about adaptability, right? I mean, like on the side, as far as the real estate is going, I do run like a smart homing business as well. Like it's crazy. Like while you're seeing all these people that are just enveloped in how am I going to make it in my day to day, and how do I feed my family? There's also the opposite end of the spectrum. Hey, now's a good time for me to get that smart TV installed for my backyard. Also, I want that integrated system where it got the smart pool cleaning, the air quality control. Like you're right. It's really about adapting to what the consumer is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% there, man.
So when I started my investing, I was in the nicer area, and I was also in the South Side. I was in different markets because I wanted to diversify my income stream. And what I noticed is that I didn't want to be a slumlord. I didn't want to do that. I liked providing nice quality properties, and unfortunately, when I provided nice quality properties in the lower income part of town, they got messed up pretty quickly. Either they got destroyed because people vandalized it, or they got destroyed because some of the people were very dirty, and they just were so dirty that they had to redo all the work I just did a month ago. So I decided that I wanted to be in a part of town which appreciated the nicer things, at the same time could afford the nicer things. So I started moving to those markets, and in targeting those markets, in addition to, again, the downtown market, in quieter, nicer, safer areas. And I don't think that trend's ever going to change. People are going to want to be in a quieter, nicer area that's safe. And I think that's going to be good for business if you focus on that. And again, targeting a market that can afford the what you're offering and somewhat needing it, because the Cat 6 plugs throughout the house, that's kind of almost a need now for someone that works from home. It's very frustrating when the internet doesn't work. So imagine if you are $100 a month more than your neighbor, but you have Cat 6 wiring in your house, the person that's been frustrated with not having good quality internet for work will definitely be happy to pay $100 a month for that luxury, for that peace of mind. And let's remember, for every $100 we increase the rent, that increases our resale value on a 5 cap property $24,000. And what did it cost you to make that $24,000 increase in your property value? It cost you maybe if you're rewiring the property, you're going to be maybe spending $1,000 to run that Cat 6. That $1,000 investment made you $24,000 in added value on your property. If you have a fourplex, you just increased the property value $96,000 for a $4,000 investment. And that's what I did on my 16 unit.
Now, is that the same unit you're talking about down in Clearwater? I've been kind of following your projects, like, not as closely as I would like, but I remember several months ago when you were still like in the breadth of like developing those properties themselves down in Clearwater. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about there?
All of my properties now are going through renovations of full rewiring and Cat 6 installs. And all of my properties are going through networking all the cable together. So I get one cable bill and everybody gets cable and internet from me, the rector. And all the properties are going to have WAP throughout. So not only they have WAP throughout, they have Cat 6 wire inside, and they have cable and internet provided. So now they pay me $100 a month for cable internet service, and I get a $300 bill from the cable company. So in that Safety Harbor project that you're referring to, I basically collect an extra $1,600 a month. My cost is $350 roughly. So on that, it's about $1,250 extra a month, which increased the property value. For every $100 is $24,000. So it increased the property value roughly, let's say $300,000. So that $15,000 investment increased my property $300,000. So you can see and people ask me, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? The initial work that we provide on this property, the initial work you provide on this property is going to cost you, let's just say $50,000 to do this property. But for an extra $5,000 or $10,000, your return on investment could double. So why are we going to be, that's what I see. And that's even when I was 19 years old and I saw people tile a floor. I said, why are you using that tile? They're like, oh, this is the last tile left over, and it's 50 cents a piece. I said, what does that matter? That's a ceramic tile. You drop something on that tile, it's going to crack. It's not a porcelain tile. And you can't even get any extra tile. If it broke, that's it. It's broken. You can't even replace that tile. So why are you going to save 50? This is maybe 1,000 square feet. Would you say $500? If that tile cracks, you're going to have to redo the whole floor. And your labor to lay the tile was $1 to $2 a square foot. So you didn't really save anything in the big scheme of things. Get a porcelain tile, and you will be able to not have this issue. And that's what confused me, is like, don't cheap out, especially on material. The biggest cost people have is labor. So always put in the highest quality material.
Absolutely. I mean, just to give you an idea, I'm working out of New Jersey here. We have plenty of properties that are man, for lack of a better word, they're in the hood. You know, like Trenton, New Jersey, Camden, certain parts of Newark as well. Like,
I grew up in Patterson.
Oh, you grew up in Patterson? Oh, really? That's really cool, man. But yeah, so then you definitely know like how it is like across the demographic here. The approach that like my team and again, you know, my partners usually like they really give me a lot of love about it when I bring this stuff to the table too. You know, it's I guess like long story short, we're in it for the long game. You know, just to develop something nice that can actually add value to the community here that we're trying to cater to. As far as, you know, like who we're working with, the quality of material that we're going. We've had a lot of opportunities to go the cheap route, and I've always been like the stout voice. Hey, we don't want to do that. X, Y, and Z. Here's why. You know, I guess like, you know, we're really concerned for the long term of things, right? You know, especially today we had Biden getting inaugurated into office. We're looking at are we looking at some sort of environment where any insurrectionist movement or is like, do we have to concern ourselves with these type of things in addition to the financial constraints of the environment we're already working with? It's tough, but you know, like hearing, you know, watching what you're doing and hearing how like your outlook on things it kind of reinforces things that we've already thought about, but just kind of waiting on.
What I would say is this: every year, or every 5 or 10 years, something comes up which makes it feel like the sky is falling. The sky is not falling, and we have to go to work. So just think about, all right, we got to go to work. And if the world's ending tomorrow, that's fine. Today we have to work. We have to put in our work to do whatever, and nothing else that matters, you know? Because if it's worth doing yesterday, if the sky's falling tomorrow, it's still worth doing it tomorrow. So don't kind of concern ourselves with that and with the noise, with everything else going on, because if real estate's your passion, and real estate's my passion, it doesn't matter who's in office, I'm gonna win. It doesn't matter what's gonna happen to interest rates, I'm gonna win. It doesn't matter that there's no good deals to buy, I'm still gonna study the market, and that one time every 6 months or a year I find a good deal, I'm gonna buy it. So I don't let the outside world affect me, because I can truly only affect what I choose to do. And I just choose to constantly look at deals, you know? And by making those choices, they eventually add up on each other. If you don't get a positive response today, all that means is all the hard work you put in for the next year, when you finally do get that positive response, it's going to be huge. I'm going to leave you with one last thing before I let you go. I was about 2 years ago, I built up my business to a certain point, my insurance company, and I was like, you know what, I'm just kind of like done. I don't want to keep on building this thing up. It's gotten to a point where, you know, I'm going to step out and let everybody else kind of continue running it. If you have any questions, ask me, but I'm basically done. And I was spending a lot of my time meditating, and my wife asked me, she's like, what are you doing? You're just kind of like laying around. You're not doing anything. You know, I'm like, well, you really don't need me in there. It's a waste of my time worrying about, you know, $500 insurance policies. It's not a use of my time. I'd rather just spend my time meditating and my self-development. And I said, even if I sit here for the next 6 months and do nothing, if I have the proper energy to make one move, I can make one move that would be able to generate me enough money, which would be equivalent to a man working 10 years. So if it takes me 6 months or a year, so be it. And fortunately enough, thank God, I was able to buy the Safety Harbor complex that I purchased, and I was able to have the energy and the passion to be able to properly renovate it. And I put a lot of money. Most people would be told me, you know, why did you spend $800,000-900,000 on a property you bought for $900,000? And I just every day I went there and I just saw this place deserves it. This requires, um, you know, this requires that type of investment. It's going to have a return, and you know, you have to be able to have that patience and development and energy to apply no matter what's going on. You know, so.
Like just focus on the vision that you have. It's powerful stuff, man. It's really powerful stuff. You know, thank you for it. You know.
You're welcome. Well, keep up the good work and let me know how you do.
All right, Pascal. Thanks for taking me on your live today. You know, like I know it's not too often I pop by, but you know, I love tuning into your lives whenever you have them up. You know.
Awesome. Be blessed.
Bless you, man.
All right, so got a billion questions here on YouTube. Let's see. Duke, what's up, bro? How you doing? Sam says, if I want to become familiar, would you recommend any city in particular or secondary market of a certain city? Is there any way around the 20% down for an investment property, like benefits for the first-time home buyer with immaculate credit? No, there isn't any way around the 20% down unless it is a primary residence. I can't really recommend any specific city for you to look into because that's just what you prefer investing in. So I can't really, advise. Just find an area you really like, an area that you feel like coming to visit if you're going to go check up on your investment property. So just keep that in mind. Bredos, what's up, brother? How you doing? Griffin says, how do you do the math to determine when and how long you should lock in the mortgage rate? 30, 60, or 90 days? Well, normally we're still able to, if you're going to a big bank, it's probably going to take you 90 to 180 days to close your loan. If you're going to a private lender, like I have a private mortgage company, I'm getting you conventional loans. I'm going to Quicken to get loans, but because we're doing our own processing, we can move faster. We're still closing within like 21 to 30 days for a primary residence. If it's an investment property, it's about 45 to 60 days. If it's self-employed income, if you own your own business and you are looking to refinance, it's taking roughly 60 to 90 days to do those loans. Guidelines have tightened, which is causing us to do a lot more work than we want to do, but we have to do it, and it can take a lot of time. Oscar says, thanks for all your help. What would you do if you have a property with over 160 in equity and I want to cash out, but I was late on payment, so I couldn't refinance. I want to keep this property because it's giving me revenue of over $3,000 per month, but I want to make those $160,000 work. What would you do? I would try to do a cash out refi. I can't really tell you why you can't do a cash out refi because it's really odd. Even if you were behind by 1 month, it shouldn't matter. You should still be able to cash out refi. Griffin says, yes, Sam, if you buy a duplex and live in one side, qualifies for low down payment. That is correct. All right. Let's see. Try to get some more answers. Some more stuff answered. Hello, how are you? Can I answer your question? Can you hear me? All right. You don't need to cruise with big banks. You could use other ways, guys. Just ask a few investors can help. Okay. I also have an accounting firm. If you guys need help, we can help you with tax preparation, company creation, and all that good stuff. We can also help you with your mortgages and refinances. We just got VA approved, so we can do VA veterans refinances as well, VA loans. And we also have an insurance agency if you're in Florida. Alrighty. Hey, what's up, Paul? How you doing? Yes, we can do loans in Washington State. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Pascal. How are you? Good. It's so
Awesome.
nice to finally talk to you. I've been following you for like almost 2 years now.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, I just want to thank you for like all of the knowledge and all the information you give us and all the time you take out of your day and your family to just give people this free knowledge. Like, I think you're amazing, and I think your family is beautiful. Your wife, your kids, you guys are beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
So if I look away, it's because I wrote things down, because sometimes I get nervous and like I'll blank out. So I wrote things down. So if I look away, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So I took your course.
Awesome. Awesome. What did you think of it?
It was great. I literally applied everything that you said. There is so much information to take in that I'm probably going to be rewatching it again when the market tanks, so that I can just brush up on everything, so that I can go ahead and start looking for deals.
What I would say is, it took me, because a lot of the stuff in the course, I learned them from my mentors, and I had a different mentor in each area. It took me like 2, 3, 4, again, it took me a lot of times to drill it into my head for it to finally make sense, because what we're taught is not what's normal, right? Like meaning how reality works and how the game is played is not anything we're taught. So when we're finally absorbing it in, it's like, wait, this is the first time I've heard this. Yeah, exactly. Chinese. So you have to drill it again and again and again. And that's why I constantly say, listen, and to absorb. So yeah, definitely listen to it 2 or 3 times to make it second nature. Because when I say the dollar in your pocket is not money, it is a loan. That is so hard to understand. And I'm like, for it to truly hit, and it takes you 10 years to see that pain of, wow, my money's worthless. Anyway, go on with your questions.
But when you explain it about inflation and everything, it makes total sense. It's just people are not taught this. Like in school, I was not taught about finances, credit, real estate, loans. You're not taught any of this. You kind of got to go on a whim and figure everything out on your own, or else you're going to stay stuck in the same spot for the rest of your life. It's horrible.
Yeah, unfortunate. We become. I call it modern day slavery, because when you're trading your time for money, it's fine, it's okay, but you also need to eventually trade that money for assets that can buy you back your time. And if you don't, and you never do that, you actually buy yourself more and more into the slavery. Now, can we truly blame anybody? We can't really blame anybody. We kind of have to hold ourselves accountable. And obviously everybody here watching today is holding themselves accountable to say, I want to get myself out of the rat race. I don't want to be enslaved to the dollar to cover my bills. I want to start using these dollars and make them work for me. And that's where we're going to all get to that point where, like, thank God I'm to the point where I don't have to work, but I really enjoy the financial game. It's like it's a game for me, and it's fun. And but it's great to put yourself in a position where you could choose to do it, or as I mentioned earlier, I chose to just sit down for 6 months and self-reflect and meditate and try to grow as an individual to help myself get to the next level. And now we're going to go to your questions.
Okay, so I do live in Florida. I'm by West Palm, so I'm south of where you are.
Awesome, yeah.
I have insurance with you. Marta is my agent.
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
I have car insurance. I have my dad's car insurance with you guys as well. We're working right now on getting homeowners in. That a lot of the zip codes down here are closed due to Storm Eta. So we've been working on it for a while, and we're just waiting for those zip codes to open back up so we can work on that as well.
Awesome.
And I also want to do my refinance with you. I'm faithful. When I've been following you, I know what you're talking about. I know you're always right, and you're so knowledgeable. I'm faithful. I want to do everything with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's crazy. I'm gonna tangent real quick. I had a guy. He's in I forget. I think he's like in the northern part of Florida, and this Spanish gentleman. He was like, "Oh, Pascal, you know, I learned so much from you. I bought these 2 properties because of you. Everything, whatever." And I'm like, "Awesome! I'm really happy to help." He's actually he's an accountant too, and I was like, "Okay, yeah. You know, we can help you with the refis." He's like, "Well, I started it with someone else." And I'm like, "Well, you know, I have a mortgage company. Why wouldn't you do it with me?" And he's like, "Oh man, I messed up." So he sent me the stuff, and I said, "Okay, you know what? We'll match everything, and I'll give you the same rate. I'll give you the same everything, whatever." And literally, because he just started like a day ago or a day before, and he's like, "Well, you know, I already kind of started with the guy, so I'm not going to switch over." I'm like, "You do understand, I'm doing all of this stuff for free and helping you in the kind of how you could repay for all the money I'm spending to put out, because these videos get edited. I got to pay people for that. You know how I reimburse those costs is by doing these loans, and that's how I can cover these costs." He's like, "Well, maybe next time." And I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, good luck, you know. Anyway, but what I'm trying to say is I appreciate you, and guys, understand, as you know, I spend a lot of money. The course, I don't make any money on the course. When we're selling it for $300, it costs me way more than that to have the course hosted and the editing and everything. Obviously, like I mentioned, whoever buys my course and does the refinance with me, I credit you back the cost of the course for your refi. My goal is that you're going to study this information, you're going to develop, you're going to grow, and you're going to end up buying a lot of properties. You're going to need my accounting firm's help. You're going to need my mortgage company's help. And along the way, we both grow together.
Right.
So I appreciate you being a loyal follower and providing the business.
Of course, it's a business exchange.
Yes.
So let me see, what else did I write down here? So we bought our house. We do own our home. We bought it with a FHA loan. Our interest rate is 3.8 at the moment. We've had the house for 4 years, 4 years and 2 months, something like that. We've never refinanced. We do pay PMI still. Yeah,
it's going to take you roughly 7 years to 8 years to naturally remove PMI without refinancing.
So,
but if you refinance, it'll be removed right away, because most likely you are way under the 80% number at this point, because prices have gone up a lot in 4 years.
Yeah, so thankfully, we started with the idea, you know, long ago when you started saying, I mean, you've been saying that the market's going to go down for like a year already. So we started preparing, we started fixing our credits. I mean, literally, I don't know why we let our credit go, but like my husband's credit had gone down to, before I took your course, 5.25, and it's at 7.25 right now, because I applied everything that you taught in your course.
That's awesome. 200 points. 200 points. That's awesome.
Yes. So I don't think he's ever been in the sevens. So totally proud of ourselves. So,
good job.
We had decided, you know what, we're going to listen to what he's saying. We're going to refinance the house, take cash out so that we can be ready to purchase an investment property when the market goes down. So we've been fixing the house, like we've done landscaping. I literally treated this as practicing with my own home so that I can apply that when we buy the rental property. We've done tree removal. We put down sod, new grass. We've done tree removal in the back, like we cleaned out the backyard. We painted the outside of our home, like ourselves with my dad.
Awesome.
Our house is like stucco on the outside.
Yeah.
We painted our home on the outside. We painted our home on the inside. We're almost done with the inside. The last things I'm waiting on is we're supposed to get hurricane impact windows installed this
Mhm.
month. We're just waiting for HOA approval.
Yeah.
And then after they come install the windows, I want to, it's a two-story home, and upstairs it's all carpet and it's so ugly and hideous. I want to replace it and put some like vinyl flooring, something that looks like wood, but it's not as expensive.
Yeah, make sure you put, if it's on the second floor, make sure you put good sound deadening underneath so you don't hear people walk too much from the 2 floors. Yeah.
Okay. And so I just wanted to know, like, do you think that I should wait for the windows to be installed, but then maybe not wait until the floor is installed?
I would wait. So this is where it's hard to give you an answer. One, half of the people that are doing refis right now do not have to get an appraisal. They're not even asking for an appraisal because they can run comps in the area. There's enough homes sold that they don't need one. Two, a group of people are just doing drive-bys. So they're not even coming into your house because of COVID. And then the third scenario.
It's so beautiful.
I actually have had people argue that. They're like, no, my home is really nice. You have to see the inside to see what the value of it is. So I have had that argument before. People have gotten actually very, very mad about that fact. But this is the reality, right? I'm dishing out what reality is. So the scenario with that is, one, you cannot refinance if you're in the middle of the window. I had a guy, I was doing his refinance, doing all this work, a big problem popped up. We were able to get it resolved with, I have a really great title company. We were able to fix it for him. We're about to close, and then they're about to finish the final things on the title. And they're like, well, we can't close now. And I'm like, what do you mean we can't close now? We've done all this work. He's like, well, he has an open, and a mechanical lien. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he looks like he's getting windows installed. So I call him up and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know, you wanted to rush this to get this done. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're getting windows installed? He's like, yeah, well, what's the big deal? I'm like, when you get anything done on your house in a professional pulls permits in Florida, you have to sign a document that gives them the right to put a mechanical lien against your home. That lien goes before every other lien that you have. So a bank will not refinance you if you're getting new windows installed, if you're getting a roof put on, if you're getting anything put on, because that mechanical lien actually goes before them on the mortgage. So you have to wait till after the lien is closed and the permit's finished. So that's kind of a funny story of like what we don't know unless it comes up across us. So you can do it before or after. You know, I think you'll be fine to do it, not during. So I'm thinking you'll be fine to do it after the fact. And I don't think you'll have to wait for the floors. I do not believe.
How long does that mechanical lien like take?
Immediately, like the second they're done, they can close it.
Oh, okay, because they said it's a one-day job.
Yes, wow, that's a fast way to change windows. How many windows do you have?
1, 2, 3, well, like 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the slide door, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 windows.
Okay, I guess if they have like 4 guys that can knock that out in 3 to 4 guys that can knock it out in a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they can close it pretty quick as long as they go to the city and they close out their lien. Yeah, it's quick. So the next thing is from the time that we have to pull a permit to the time they come out, it's 2 to 3 weeks now for people to come out to do an appraisal. And you can tell them what day to come. So if you're like halfway finished with your floors and you need 3 more days, you can tell them to come, you know, when you know that you're going to be ready. So you have that flexibility, you have that ability.
But you're saying that mostly right now, as of now, like most of the time, they're not even coming inside the house.
Most of the time, they're not even coming inside the house. Correct. And a good chunk of the time, they're not even doing an appraisal. They're literally doing, the findings from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They'll come back with findings saying doesn't require an appraisal.
Okay. So I'm wondering, I think after the windows, we should just do it and not even wait on the floor.
Yeah, it's unlikely. And if you've done so many things to add value to your house, there's a certain cap that you can come to where it's like, okay, you can put an elevator in it. It's not going to add any
Yeah,
money
that's true
to it.
because of the comps,
Because of the,
unfortunately.
yeah. Now the good news is there's a lot of home sales going on. So if you do wait another week or 2 or 3 weeks, where all of these home sales start hitting and there's their new record high, those comps are going to come to your benefit to justify the value of your home. So it doesn't hurt if you wait a couple more weeks anyway. So, but I wouldn't wait. Probably, I would try to get in my application in February to try to close in March or April, because we're going to have some of the highest. Normally, that's going to be our busy season in Florida, because all of the people coming down from up north, they're coming down now. They're looking for properties to buy, so the prices should be coming high. They're still going to be high, I think, in June still, but I think the most aggressive pricing is going to be in that time period. So anyone who's looking to sell a home, definitely, and if you're in Florida or Arizona or Texas, the snowbirds are coming down, so this is a good time for you to sell.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait obviously I have to wait till the HOA gives their approval, and then they're gonna go ahead and give me an installation date. So they had told me previously, that was in November, that around January would be installation date after all permits were pulled, after HOA approval, and then they had everything that they needed. So hopefully I will be able to DM you, because I know you said just DM you, read the word refinance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be doing that hopefully.
And also on my Instagram, it has my office phone number. So if you just click the phone number.
Well, I have the number because that's how I got the car insurance. I had DM you before for like the number so I can get the car insurance, and it says like if you're calling for taxes or calling for this or calling for that. Yeah.
So if you click mortgages, you're gonna go to Chantal, and Chantal is the mortgage manager, so she'll take care of you. And you just let Chantal know, hey, I've been working with Pascal. Chantal's actually my sister. She's the mortgage manager. Yeah. So if you just let her know, hey, I've been working with Pascal on IG, and I took his course, blah blah blah. Let her know you took my course, because that way she'll remember to give you the credit for on the mortgage.
Okay, so that would be awesome. I mean, I'm not even looking to get anything, like just the knowledge that I got out of it. I mean, I was getting my money back. And knowing that I'm refinancing with somebody who knows what they're doing, I feel confident, and just peace of mind is priceless.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely, honestly, it feels really good to hear how successful you guys have been with it. It makes me feel good, because that was the goal of the course, is to help everyone develop and grow financially. So I really appreciate you coming on and telling me all of this.
Thank you so much for everything you do, Pascal. God bless you and your family.
God bless you. You have a great night.
Have a great night.
So I love hearing that. It makes you feel good. I like seeing people succeed. All right, let's answer some more questions here on IG. So Oscar says, how can I connect with you to help me with refinance? DM me, Oscar, or you can DM me is a good way, or you can go on my IG and call the phone number and hit the mortgage and connect with the mortgage department. Chantal is the mortgage manager. She'll help you with that. And let me see here. So Griffin says, yes, and blah, blah, blah. Larry Hugo, do you buy properties in primary markets? I'm willing to buy a property in the primary market. Excuse me. But the property needs to be worth it. I need to get it at a good price. Griffin says, what is the process for updating your LTV when property values are changing? Is it stuck to the property's purchase price until you refi? Correct. It is normally stuck. Normally, it is stuck to the purchase price until you refi. So then once we refi you, we'll be able to go get a new appraisal showing the new market price, and then we're going to have your loan amount on top, and that's going to show what's your loan to value. There is scenarios with some companies that will allow you to request an update on the property value, and your current mortgage could then do the update and remove the PMI, but not all loans allow that option. How do I avoid premium penalties in a commercial loan? Well, if you refinance with the existing company, sometimes they will waive the prepayment penalty because it's within the same company. Teen Ambition says, have you ever bought from a wholesaler? Yes, I actually have bought some, 1 or 2 deals from a wholesaler. Unfortunately, most deals from wholesalers are not age of 23. So if you do not have 23 units and you want to learn how I did it, this is the course you want to take. Link is in my bio. When you are ready to do a refinance or purchase a property, come see me. I'll be able to help you provide the loan to you, and you will be reimbursed for the cost of the course in the refinance. We'll give you a credit for that. My goal is to help all of you guys grow financially. So, good luck. God bless. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.